How you guys doing?
Great.
Yeah, man. How you been?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good, hanging out.
I want to start you off with something easy.
Yeah.
Specifically about the geese.
Okay.
You're now at the end of the show. Had a couple of geese.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
Yes, the season 4 Miyagi-Do gi. That one, I like the heavier weight ones.
Is that the snapping sound?
Yeah, they give the snapping
it's a
sound.
lot.
When we throw a really good kick or punch, you can hear it, and that's the part that I really like. The soft gis, a lot of times, like the lighter weight ones, they'll have pockets, which are kind of nice. You can hide snacks in it. So. But that's kind of the only thing it's good for. I think I like. Yeah, it's like snacks or like sounding cool. It's like, I'd rather sound cool than have snacks. Probably.
Sleeves or no sleeves?
Man, that's
Doing
so
important
hard.
journalism.
I would have to say sleeves because, or at least sleeves for my partner. I have really bony forearms, and when you have sleeves, you're able to wear pads because obviously right now I can't wear pads. So definitely sleeves. It just makes it a lot easier, especially doing like long, like a ton of fighting.
Yeah.
Poor Tanner, when we had our fight and we were shirtless, and they tried to limit how many blocking things I would do because my forearms are really bony and Tanner was like throwing his punches.
So Jacob, you probably spend tons of hours like with working on the Mohawk and stuff,
yeah.
more than anyone in the show. And I know you guys have used like prosthetics for it sometimes. How long would you say it takes? Because that's your real hair.
This is my real hair right now, yeah.
How long did that take?
This is 35 minutes, I would say. It's not that bad. Yeah, it used to take like an hour. Usually when we've had a new hair department like every single season. So at the beginning of the season, it's always like an hour and then it kind of like shrinks. Kevin, or as I like to call him, K-Money, he's really good and kind of has my Mohawk on lock. And he's been really awesome this season.
So I want to actually bounce off the Hawk and ask.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned the lightweight of the gi for fight scenes, and
Yeah.
I'm curious, how much does that factor into the physicality of this role?
Hawk does not like roll at all. There's never a moment where I'm like dodging a punch like that because I have to go so much lower. So a lot of times, sometimes in choreography, a ton of people hop on choreography, but sometimes there'll be someone throwing a punch and they have Hawk, rolling with the punch. I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I gotta sway or like, it's just realistically, like, there's no way he would put that much effort into trying to do that. Especially when I have had prosthetics before. Fighting with those is way different. You kind of, like when you hold a chicken and you move it around, and like its head doesn't move. Like, you kind of have to do that a little bit when you're fighting.
So did you find it easier to fight? Sorry, real quick. Did you find it easier to fight with the shorter Hawk in last season comparison?
I would just say my real hair, because there was one season where right before my hair was super long and my mom was like, "You're getting a haircut." And I was like, "Well, I have to film soon." My mom was like, "I don't like your hair. You're getting a haircut." And I was like, do I tell the writer sorry or tell my mom no? So I got a haircut, and then I think it was maybe season 3 or 4. I had a little bit of a prosthetic. Just fighting with my real hair is just a lot easier.
Okay.
So Jacob, with this season, we're already expecting some crazy fights, even just what we've seen on the monitors and stuff. But that fight with you and Robby in season 4, that changed the standard going forward for like 5 and 6. So like, what can you say on that aspect with the martial arts? Because I know you're an avid martial artist. Like, you said it on Lone Lobos about all the stuff you've done, and even like from the start of the show when Hiro was telling me the stunt team loved you, and like they probably told you now, of course, and just more on that aspect with the fight scenes.
Yeah, I'd love getting to sort of like level up my fight game with all the stunt performers, and they're all super cool to. Like, if you ask for, like, extra stuff or, like, hey, I'd like to learn this flip or, like, hey, can we roll around and, like, do some jiu-jitsu stuff? Like, everyone's super down to, like, just teach, and everyone's, like, there's no judgment at all. Like, I can just walk in and suck. And they're like, that was a great day. Like, you learned something. Like, I beat your ass, but you learned how to,
Yeah.
But since season 4, like, trying to, level up and working with Don and Ken, Don is just so awesome to work with from a fighting perspective because he really, really tries to put himself like in the mind of every single character, and I feel like that really shows, like just the different types of moves that we're doing. Like Dom was one of the people who was like, yeah, bro, why would you ever like try to duck a punch? Like that makes no sense. Like let's slip it or you sway back, you know? There's just like little things like that, you know, make you feel really comfortable. Like, oh yeah, like, I trust this dude to like, he wants me to throw this flying knee like this, fuck yeah, like let's do it. So that's cool. There's definitely some really awesome fights in the first part that I love.
Okay.
That are gonna be really, really fun.
Sweet.
I remember, maybe I'm mistaken, but in season 1 that Dimitri, he said something about Hawk being on like the autism spectrum or something like that.
Yeah. Billy says
Yeah, I remember that one.
something like that, and then I think I have a retort like, well, the doctors say I may be on the spectrum.
Okay. That always stuck out to me because I had like learning disabilities growing up, so I knew a lot of people on the spectrum.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
that just like jumped out.
Yeah.
So I was
Good
curious if
option.
that would ever be like explored again, even in this season or something like that.
It's not something that I think is explored really in this season. That's more of a writer question, honestly.
Okay.
That's something that I think is more of a flustered Eli's like, I don't know what to do. I'm just saying something like this guy's super mean, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're asking if Eli's on the spectrum, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably on. I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that one. I'm sorry.
Jacob, what does it mean to you to bring closure to the role? To get a chance to know going into the season that it's the final season and that you're bringing the story or bringing an arc to a closure?
Yeah, it's bizarre. Reading the last episode felt very surreal. It's cool. I feel like Hawk really did get to have like a full. I wouldn't even call it a circle. It was like he went over here, and then here, and then like way over there, and it's like finally wrapping back around. It feels good. I have a lot of really, really awesome moments with Miguel and Dimitri that I'm really, really excited for people to see. I wish you guys had seen this.
Just come back more often.
yeah.
Do you have a rival this season?
A rival this year? I do have a rival this year.
Okay.
I don't know if I can say that. But, no, I don't have a rival this year. I don't have a rival. His name is Daniel LaRusso. And, he loves bonsai trees, and I hate bonsai trees.
So I'm actually curious to know, you mentioned Miguel and Dimitri, and Eli's been back on good terms with them, but going into this season, there's still Kenny, there's still Robby, which you've been on tentative ground with for all of last season. What can you tease about their relationships with Hawk going into the final season?
Yeah, I think everyone knows we're going to this huge sort of world tournament going into season 6, and I think that is, a much bigger this is a huge monumental event that's happening, and I think is a little bit bigger than maybe our little petty asides that we might have. But, we're all teenagers and super angsty, and everybody holds grudges. So there is definitely remnants of those, Kenny Hawk moments, Robby Hawk moments throughout the season, I would say.
So, Jacob, in season 5, we saw Hawk and Kenny square off for the qualifier for the Sekai Tekai, and Hawk unfortunately lost. Is that something that's going to affect his confidence, at least in the earlier parts of season 6, if you can say?
I don't think so. I think at the end of season 5 in the finale, I think it was. I was super bummed that Hawk lost that fight.
Yeah,
I was
me
like,
too.
what the heck? Like, how did that happen? But I think at the finale of season 5, Hawk sort of has a line to Kyler. He's like, sometimes you just fucking lose. Like, sometimes it's not your day, but kind of what you do or how you perform, like that doesn't really define who you are as a person. And I think that's sort of a lot of Hawk's mentality kind of just going through most of season 6. Like, I might slip up or, do bad, but I still know I'm a great fighter and I have a lot to add.
That's awesome.
So with the whole Mohawk situation, every season of Cobra Kai, everyone's obviously wondering, it's like the relation to Eli's confidence with the Mohawk, and he flips the script and all that. Like, what can you tease about this sort of little journey he has in season 6, like really understanding everything about him is him. It's not just the Mohawk, and he's gone through that in with season 4, and in season 5 he's kind of unsure on the color. But do we finally see like a conclusion to that?
Yes, hard. Yeah, I got to pick this color.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Right, let me pick this
I like
color.
it.
Yeah, for the
Season 1 throwback.
yeah, it's a little season 1 throwback. But there is a Mohawk this season that is by far, I think, like, was one of some of like everyone's favorite on crew. I would say.
Ooh.
I would walk around and be like, "That's fucking sick." So I do have a really awesome Mohawk. I have a couple Mohawks this year actually.
So you've been in makeup a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Shoal already kind of spoiled the spikes at the beginning.
Oh,
but-
did he?
Yeah, he did. He's pulled a lot of time.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, I do have a couple Mohawks this year, and I think it really does sort of speak to his confidence and sort of just his, I'd say, support for the people around him.
Jacob, can you talk about your relationship with the fandom and just how people have embraced this show over the years?
Yeah, it's been so crazy to go to cons or on Halloween. I'm not really on Instagram anymore, but back when I was, just every Halloween seeing like a bunch of like 10-year-old kids, like walking around with Mohawks, which is really like I've been acting since I was 5, but I've never been in a role where I feel like it's hit such like a large fan base, I guess.
It's taken over the zeitgeist. Like,
Yeah,
has.
it's really cool to see him just meeting people at cons or on the street, and meeting people who are cleft affected. And like this role means so much to me, and having just a small part of this show, and being able to really strike a chord with people is very surreal. I was not anticipating that at all. When we started, this was like, all right, I'll do this YouTube show. Like, it'll help pay for college.
Yeah.
Like, that was the mentality I went in. I was like, this. I had no idea there was a Mohawk. Like, I went in being like, okay, I'm gonna say like 2 lines in this scene, and like that's it. And then it turned into I have a Mohawk and I have all these back tattoos.
One more question, guys.
So I'd actually like to piggyback off that real quick and just ask, I mean, with this show having been such a big part of your life and Eli having been such a big part of your life, what's going to be the hardest thing for you to leave behind should Hawk's character arc not continue in any spin-offs or movies?
Oh man, the hardest part to leave behind.
The Mohawk.
How
Yeah.
quickly are you going to shave that?
I keep it every once in a while. Right now, my hair is pretty dead because I've had the more different Mohawks I have, like the more they dye my hair, and like my hair's pretty wiry right now. I might buzz it, but one thing I do love, I'll get to your question, but one thing I do love about dyeing my hair is I never would have done that in my life, but I actually think it fits my personality.
I
Like,
didn't start until I was 40.
yeah, like,
Like, I'm never going back.
yeah, but it's fun. I really like it, so I definitely think I'll dye my hair in the future. But yeah, leaving behind, I think a really fun aspect of Cobra Kai, I don't know if this is super usable, but there's like no cops. There's like no repercussions.
The only time is when Silver
You should be
literally
in jail.
got like Kreese arrested. Like,
Yeah, they got Kreese for like, oh no, he paid off a ref at the All Valley, like go to jail, not like I broke some kid's arm in like an abandoned warehouse somewhere that we broke into. I'm definitely gonna miss the very brutal fights. I think I would love to do more action stuff, and no one really knows what the future holds, but that's something that I think I'm gonna miss leaving behind is brutal fights and breaking Gianni's arm. Those are the things I miss the most. That's awesome, for sure.
Make sure you record that last shave.
Yeah. I'll give a good say goodbye to Hawk.
Instagram.
Get Tanner to do it.
Hey, good to see you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good one.